Review: Tom Cruise has a familiar Furrow in Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Jack Reacher, Never Go Back is the second movie that Tom Cruise has starred in as this title character. Let's hope it's the last. Mr. Cruise deserves better, as do his loyalists, who have stuck with him through the good and the bad, both in perfectly tailored roles that failed to impress audiences, Edge of Tomorrow, and in roles that were unworthy of all his work and our love, Oblivion. In recent years, only the apparently indestructible Mission Impossible franchise has provided him with a steady vehicle for his talents as well as for a ride to box office success. The appeal of Jack Reacher seems obvious but remains elusive on screen. The creation of Lee Child, Reacher is one of those enigmatic, borderline mystical types who surface out of the haze to handle villainy with boundless intelligence, weapons mastery and annihilating violence. In the first movie, Jack Reacher, 2012, the menace begins with a multiple shooting that leads to a conspiracy, false charges against Reacher, a damsel in distress and swarms of villains. It's an ugly, pessimistic world overflowing with so much wrong that of course it has spawned a sequel with the same dreary beats. Genre fiction depends on archetypes and familiar iconography, it's white hats and black, but this second Reacher flick recycles so much that its title feels like false advertising. Never Go Back? We were just there. Once again, there are women who need rescuing, even if one can handle herself nicely when bullets fly. There is yet another shooting, yet more false accusations against Reacher and yet another conspiracy that leads from the power corridors of Washington to New Orleans. It's there, during yet another of that city's conveniently colorful carnivals, that costumed revelers dance carefree in the streets as Reacher battles evil, which is a fairly jaundiced take on ordinary civilians. Then again, reality doesn't cut it in fantasies like this. Reacher is a former military man, as he often reminds people, and unencumbered by home, companion, car, dog, backpack or even a change of clothes. He does ride off in a white t-shirt. All this is meant to make him seem mysterious, but mostly he comes off as a blank, without psychological or emotional depth. He's the kind of heroic question mark that works only if there's enough star charisma or filmmaking to fill in the gaps. In both movies, though, he's little more than a furrowed brow and pummeling fist. A tamped down Mr. Cruise does what he can, mostly by cycling through his scowls as well as running, leaping and punching. The director Edward Zwick tends to sign his name to nominally more elevated material with lofty, serious themes and objectives, glory, blood diamond. Here, Mr. Zwick livens up the tired material with tepid comedy, namely with a play family for Reacher in the form of an action figure wife, Kobe Smulders, and a teenage daughter, Danica Yarish, but neither he nor Mr. Cruise registers as entirely comfortable with all the genre elements this story demands. That's especially true of Reacher's bone-crunching sadism, which he rains down on opponents with the wrath of a vengeful patriarch. The character's primitivism would fit Mel Gibson like a black leather glove. Jack Reacher, Never Go Back is rated PG-13 for gun violence and a lot of bone breaking. Running time, 1 hour 58 minutes.